If you run a company, whether it be as a first-time entrepreneur or a seasoned CEO, you face challenges every day. And for many of you, you're doing it alone. For more than 40 years, Tony Robbins has helped business owners like yourself understand how successful your business could be, the level it's at today, and how to close that gap faster with fewer costly mistakes along the way. And now he would like to underwrite the cost of a free one-to-one business strategy session from one of his top business coaches, a $600 value. In that session, you'll learn how Tony's business systems can impact your company. See, what most people don't know is that when Tony acquires or starts a company, he brings in 6 systems that are proven to create monumental growth, up to 300% in the first year alone. To learn more about these systems, to get business owner resources, and to claim your free session, just go to tonyrobbins.com/CEO. tonyrobbins.com/CEO. If you've been paying attention to the news, you've probably heard a lot about the economy and the looming threat of a recession. While no one can predict with complete accuracy when or if a recession will hit, financial markets have signaled the possibility that our nearly 10-year streak of economic growth is coming to an end. For most people, an uncertain economic environment creates a feeling of fear. You might be fearful about your company going out of business or laying people off. If you're just entering the workforce, you might be afraid you won't be able to find a job. Or perhaps you're scared of the hit your portfolio will take, that your retirement savings won't be enough for the lifestyle that you want. And if you're a business owner, you might worry that your business won't survive a recession. Regardless of your situation, a challenging economic environment requires one thing: innovation. In both good times and bad, innovation is a critical piece to move forward. And what many people don't realize is that recessionary environments have yielded some of the most innovative companies of our time: FedEx, Airbnb, Disney, and Microsoft, just to name a few. You're about to hear from an entrepreneur who started her business right smack in the middle of a downturn. Jenny Fleiss created Rent the Runway, a company now valued at $1 billion, in the wake of the most severe economic recession the United States has seen since the Great Depression. When everyone else was panicking in 2008 and 2009, Jenny and co-founder Jennifer Hyman saw an opportunity. The problem they were trying to solve was simple enough: looking into your closet and realizing you don't have anything to wear to an important event, like a wedding, but you don't have the budget to buy something new. So they innovated and created an entirely new way to shop by allowing women to rent designer clothing online for a fraction of what it actually costs. Today, the rental or sharing economy is booming. Companies like WeWork, REI, and Zipcar make it possible for us to experience something without the cost of ownership. But to put this in perspective, nothing like this existed at the time. In this episode, we're taking you to the main stage of Business Mastery, where Jenny shares how she and her co-founder got Rent the Runway up and running, and how they grew the business to where it is today. And it doesn't stop there. Jenny left Rent the Runway in 2017 to start up JetBlack, a personal shopping service that is part of Walmart's first ever technology incubator, store number 8. You'll also hear Jenny's philosophy on how she approaches hiring talent at JetBlack, which is not only critical when you're starting a business, but also when scaling it. The interviewer for this episode is Scott Harris, a coach, mentor, and speaker at many of Tony's events, including Business Mastery. Here's Scott and Jenny.
For some of the men that may not know the product, just give us the quick story on Rent the Runway. Tell us the quick story.
Yeah, so you rent designer apparel. You can do everything from a ball gown dress to a blazer for your everyday, and it's about 10% of retail price. Started the business with kind of one-off rentals, and now we have a subscription service where for as little as $89 a month, you can get 4 items at a time. And so it's really putting your closet in the cloud and letting you rent items that you otherwise might have just left sitting in your closet and only worn once. Smarter way to shop.
It's kind of cool. I love that that you have such parallels between two of you, because it really started because you had a problem that was a personal problem for you, and the problem was kind of twofold. One, closet full of things but nothing to wear, or secondly, you had to go buy some stuff for a wedding or a special occasion that was then going to be a one-off, and it was going to cost you $300-400, and that was your problem that you went and solved. So I kind of love that, and that's what you're doing now in JetBlack as well. Busy mom, entrepreneur, 3 children, solving that problem. How important it is, do you think, that the entrepreneur is got a passionate and personal experience for the thing that they're building and creating and doing?
I think it is critical. I think it does two things. One, it lets you expose the problem to begin with. And then I think, two, it lets you have the passion that is needed to constantly go after your dream and vision day after day after day. And then I would say, to continue to be that consumer is what lets your business evolve. Because your business won't grow, you won't be able to disrupt yourself to think 10 years out unless you're in that consumer seat, constantly thinking about how things are changing, where things are going. So the reason that Jen and I evolved Rent the Runway, whereas first we were renting fancy dresses, and we ultimately said, this can be for every day of your life, it can be blazers and pants and skirts, was because we were going through a change in our own lives, where we were no longer women in our 20s who had all these fancy events to wear, but we were now in our 30s and we had events at the office, we had baby showers, bridal showers, conferences that we were going to, and it was suddenly such a bigger opportunity to have apparel for your everyday. So I think you're both able to identify the problem, have the energy and passion, but then to innovate and iterate so that you can be as big as the potential really is.
Got it. I love it, and I love reading the stories about how you and Jen, the other Jen who helped you build it, Jenny, you really you went and funded it yourself. It was just you were two kids out of college, and you went, let's just create a pop-up store, and you got some money yourselves, and you bought clothes in your sizes in case it didn't work.
Yep, that's right. Always have a plan B.
Have a plan B.
So we were at business school together when this concept came about, and it was actually a recessionary moment, which I think can be a great time for innovation, and for us also meant that the barrier, so we're heading into that now, potentially, some people believe, but the barrier of what else would we do with our lives and our time was also a lot lower. So there weren't as many interesting jobs out there, but consumers were starting to think differently about how they consumed clothing, and they were actually starting to be way more proud of being smart shoppers and consuming in smart ways. So that created a unique angle for us to start Rent the Runway. The first thing I say is, beyond talking to consumers, and we spoke to everyone we knew at business school, at home, anyone on the street who would talk to us, you've got to test the concept with consumers. You've got to make them put their money where their mouth is. So it's one thing to say that this is a good idea, or sure, it would be great to get clothing for 10% of the retail price, but to actually have people put money out and to see what designers are they renting, what styles do they like, what complaints do they have, are they taking care of the items when they rent them, are we getting the items back? We needed to test and learn. And it wasn't just to validate the concept, it was also to validate that we enjoyed working on the concept, right? You're investing your own time. That's the most precious thing of all. So if we didn't have a business that really was something and that would ticked, that would be a problem. But if we also weren't enjoying working together as co-founders and working on, this problem, that was also not a great use of our time.
Yeah. I remember reading a story about when you did the pop-up store.